India to Mehab from Punekar News. Mehab, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Thank you so much for taking my question. My question is herd immunity only the perfect solution to end coronavirus pandemic, especially in country like India?
Just repeat your question. I think you said, is herd immunity
Yes, that's what I said.
an important component of the
Okay,
pandemic? Or
yes, I'll repeat my question. My question is herd immunity only the perfect solution to end coronavirus pandemic, especially in country like India?
Thank you. I know Sumya is online as well, so she may want to add to this. So yes, normally when we talk about herd immunity, we talk about how much of the population needs to be vaccinated, to have immunity to the virus, to the pathogen, so that transmission can no longer take place, or it's very difficult for a virus or a pathogen to transmit between people. So that's the concept of that. One of the things, if we think about herd immunity in a natural sense of just letting a virus run, it's very dangerous because you would need a lot of people to be infected. And there are estimates of what percentage of the population needs to be infected. But that means that many people are infected, many people will need hospitalizations, and many people will die. So what we're working towards in the vaccine, and there's colleagues here who can supplement this, is that to have a safe and effective vaccine that could provide protection to a large proportion of the population so the virus doesn't have an opportunity to transmit. But trying to reach herd immunity naturally would be very dangerous because a lot of people would die.
I'm just looking in the room to see if anybody else would like to contribute. And Sumya. Sumya, you online? Would you like to add something to that?
I think Maria's exactly explained, why it's important to think about population immunity with respect to a vaccine, because there really hasn't been any infectious disease that has been controlled just by allowing natural immunity to happen. So apart from the fact that it would take a very long time, because we've seen from all the sero surveys around the world that on average, 5 to 10% of people have antibodies, which means that they've exposed to the virus and they've recovered from it. In some cities, it has been found to be higher, but on the average, majority of the world's population currently is still susceptible to this virus, which means the infection can go on and on and on in waves. And so the best way to achieve that kind of population immunity would be through a vaccine. And Maria also mentioned that what percentage of the population would need to have protective immunity is something that we are still trying to understand. But in general, the more transmissible the virus, the higher the proportion of people that would need to be immune. So if you take a virus like the measles virus, where one person can transmit to 15 to 20 people, you need 95% of that population to have protective immunity through a vaccine in general. In the case of SARS-CoV-2, we know that one infected person could potentially transmit to 2 to 3, or could be even more people given the setting. If it's a crowded setting, it could be one person transmitting to more than 3 or 4 people. You would need probably about 65 to 70, in that range, percent of the population to have protective immunity. So to get to that level across the world and across all populations, urban and rural and age groups, one can do it most safely and efficiently through a vaccine. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Sumya Swaminathan, our Chief Scientist.